the asylum program is a scam. Some of the roughest people you've ever seen. People that look like they should be fighting for the UFC. They read a little page given by lawyers. I am very fearful for my life. I am very worried that I will be accosted. If I am sent back home, no, he'll do the accosting.
That was President Trump in Las Vegas yesterday, railing against the asylum program, as well as what he claims are radical Democrats pushing for open borders. This comes as he tweets that he's going to redeploy 750 agents at the southern border in order to help with the large-scale surge of migrants. Joining me now to discuss, former political director of the Georgia Democratic Party and host of Real Talk with Rashad Richey, and nationally syndicated columnist for the Boston Herald and host of the Adriana Cohen Show, Adriana Cohen. Good morning to you both.
Great to be here.
Adriana, what is your reaction to the president mocking those who are coming to the United States seeking asylum?
Well, we know, Philip, that there are too many loopholes in the asylum system, and there are some, bad actors coming over the border, falsely claiming asylum when it's simply not true. And so the president is working day and night to secure a border for the American people so that we can stop the inflow of deadly drugs like fentanyl. We can stop the gangs, stop the criminals from coming over. And even if there's people coming over who are nonviolent and they're not drug dealers, they simply need to respect our laws. And the president is working day and night to fix our broken immigration system.
And those are the ones that are worthy of being mocked, you believe?
Well, look, I don't like to see anyone being mocked, but the bottom line is, there are dangerous people like MS-13 gangs who are coming over. They are truly dangerous individuals, and we need to secure our border. We know there is a serious immigration crisis on our border. This year, we're on track to have approximately 1 million migrants coming over. Our system simply can't handle it. The Border Patrol is overwhelmed, and millions of Americans applaud the president for working hard to fix this serious national security problem.
Rashad, what are your thoughts there on the mockery? Can Rashad hear us? We can't hear Rashad right now. All right. Adriana, I want to shift over to you. What do you think that Democrats, they could be doing to push back against the president's claim that they are to blame for what's going on at the border? We heard the president say that Democrats are to blame. Do you agree with that?
Well, I think Democrats are partially to blame because, the broken immigration system has been in place. It's been happening for over a decade. And both parties actually are both complicit in some respect for not taking it seriously. But the president now has made this, a key issue during his campaign, and he's delivering on that promise to secure our border. Every single day there's, hundreds, if not thousands of Americans who are dying of opioid addiction and other drug-related illnesses, and he's trying to stop the inflow of drugs into our country, not to mention dangerous actors. And this is something that needed to be done in prior administrations, and former President Obama did deport millions of illegals, but now President Trump is doing more because the problem has gone out of hand. I mean, even former President Obama's former DHS Secretary Jay Johnson has admitted, he's talked about it on another network, how it's a crisis. We have a serious crisis at the border. It's not manufactured, despite what some Democrats tell people.
The president expanded on his threat to close the border entirely. Let's listen to that.
And I don't mind closing the border. I tell you, a lot of these fakers back there, they say, he will never close the border. I'm okay with it. I don't want to do it, but I'm okay with it. I'll do it. I'll do whatever is necessary to stop an invasion of our country. That's what it is.
Adriana, closing the border joins a long list of threats the president's made regarding immigration. But when he says things like that and then does not go through with it, do you think that makes him look weak?
No, definitely not. President Trump needs cooperation from Democrats. They need to step up and acknowledge the fact that we have a real crisis at the border. They should be supporting the president. They should be giving him funding for the wall and every other measure we need to secure our border. And also, Republicans as well. Not all Republicans are on board, supporting the president with declaring a national emergency. They should be embarrassed today for not doing that because we know there is a crisis at the border. And so both both parties need to come together and solve this problem for the American people. And I think Democrats missed a huge opportunity not compromising with the president. They could have, if they would have given him proper wall funding like he asked for, he could have, he maybe signed off on DACA and finally given, fixed this issue that's been lingering over the poor dreamers' heads for many, many years. He would have come to the table with something to help DACA individuals. But Democrats, put their foot down. They refused to negotiate with him, and these poor, group of individuals were hung out to dry effectively.
Rashad, I see you're back with us here. I wanted your take on that. Do you think it makes the president look weak when he doesn't go through with his promises?
I think it does. I think it shows that he's able to flip-flop. And let's talk about the wall for a minute. It seems as if this wall is a soft all as far as it relates to immigration reform, and it is not. Philip, there's not a wall built that another man cannot simply climb over or tunnel under. In addition to that, there's something called the law. Subsection 1324 of U.S. Federal Code 8 says that it's illegal to hire undocumented workers in the United States. What does that mean? Over 80% of those who come to the United States illegally or undocumented come here for work. The number one magnet for those individuals are the employers in this country who are still willing to hire them. I hear the narrative about poor people coming to this country being criminals. I hear that narrative, but I don't hear the narrative of the employers who are willing to hire them and break the law being criminals as well. If you really want to start resolving the immigration issue in the United States, you don't have to look any further than right here in the United States. If we started to enforce our actual federal laws that are on the books, you would dry up over 80% of the reason why undocumented individuals come here in the first place. But we don't seem to have the stomach to actually apply the law universally.
All right, we only got about a minute left here, but I'd like to turn quickly to 2020. Stacey Abrams told MSNBC this week that she's going to make the decision on whether to run for Senate or for president by the fall, and she spoke about it at the National Action Network. Rashad, what do you think about Stacey Abrams' possible run? You think she should run for president or for the Senate?
I think both are viable options for her. I actually had Stacey Abrams on my radio program a day after she gave the rebuttal to the State of the Union address. At that time, she said she would let us know by March. She has extended that date. But she did make a promise on my radio show, Philip. She said she is absolutely going to run for something. As far as what it is, we don't know.
And we got to wait until the fall to find out. Rashad Ritchie, glad we got everything settled and we had you with us for just a few moments.
Yes.
Adriana Cohen, thank you so much.
Yes.
Great to be here.
The Trump administration now says it'll take 2 years to